Fishes are threatening. From the deadly piranhas to the bloody white sharks, these creatures are simply nightmares. Have you ever imagined the largest fish seen in the ocean? Well, in this video, we bring you the largest that lived in the most dangerous place in the ocean. We're going to discover this gigantic, prehistoric fish. This giant fish was related to pachycormid fish, who lived from the mid to late Jurassic period. This ray-finned fish was one of the largest in its family, and is also one of the largest fish we have ever seen. Has the penny dropped yet? We're talking about Leedsichthys, which we think is the largest fish ever existed. You might have always wondered, what's the secret behind the enormous size of this fish? And this is it. The large size of Leedsichthys is probably due to its lifestyle as a filter feeder. This is a unique method of feeding, which requires very little effort apart from simply opening the mouth and cruising near the surface of the water. Being a filter feeder, the fish only requires a slow metabolism, as it does not actively hunt for prey. The mouth of this fish was a big one, that was equipped with as many as 40,000 teeth. But don't get excited as though this creature came with a massive size and some astonishing armor. It did not prey on big fishes or marine reptiles. Leedsichthys was a fish that fed on plankton, meaning that it was a predator. The fish would take a large mouthful of plankton-rich water and silver them through giant mesh plates at the back of its mouth, displaying a feeding habit that is similar to that of the modern blue whale. Its insane size could also mean that it was gigantic for that time, just like many of the large fish of the modern world. Most of the remains of the fish that have been found are partial and fragmentary. Not just that, but also the fossils of this creature have been difficult to interpret, as the skeletons were not completely made of bone. A large portion of it consisted of cartilage that did not fossilize. On numerous occasions, the enigmatic large partial remains have been mistaken for the bones of a Stegosaurus dinosaur. As the vertebrae are among the parts that have not been preserved, it's difficult to determine the overall body length. Estimates have varied significantly, and it has left the skeleton and the size of Leedsichthys to be only imperfectly known. When it comes to the skeleton, the fish's head was probably large, wide, and elongated. The snout is completely unknown, while its frontal bones are absent. From the fossils of this fish, it was evident that it had bony fin rays. It had two pectoral fins on the lower side of its body, which were large and elongated, with a slight curve to its side. Though there was a dorsal fin and a triangular anal fin, a pelvic fin was absent on this fish. The length of Leedsichthys was indicated to be as low as 13.5 meters and as high as 27.6 meters. But that's not all, as a length of 30 meters or even 35 meters was mentioned in popular science publications. Considering the whale shark, the largest living fish today, with a maximum recorded body length being just over 12.5 meters, a 35 meters is undoubtedly jaw-dropping. There are a handful of researchers who agree that a size of 9 to 10 meters long is realistic, but they also recognize isolated remains that are larger than they appear in specimens that are more complete. When it comes to the weight of this aquatic creature, it is estimated to have an average weight of 45 metric tons. Let's dive further into the findings of this giant. This fish was named after Alfred Nicholas Leeds, who initially discovered it in 1886. Scientists have found fossil remains of Leedsichthys across numerous locations. These locations include England, North Germany, Chile, and France. There have also been fragmented fossils which were found in Argentina. When it comes to the fossil representation of this creature, many specimens of over 70 individuals are known. The image here shows the various European localities where Leedsichthys remains have been found. In the map, C stands for Cap de la Heve, CM for Christian Malford, L for Leesburg, P for Peterborough, V for Villers-sur-Mer, and W for Weihengerberg. Fossils of this prehistoric fish were discovered during one of the most intriguing periods in the field of paleontology. This period was characterized in the 19th century by competition between various notable paleontologists. It was around this time that amateur paleontologist Alfred Nicholson Leeds discovered the bones of this giant in a loam pit near Peterborough in England. Though he found the bones, it was initially misidentified as belonging to a Stegosaurus dinosaur. And in the following year, renowned paleontologist Othniel Marsh identified the remains as that of a prehistoric fish. This took place on 22 August 1888, when the American dinosaur expert Peter Othniel Charles Marsh visited Leeds' farm at Ibury, and he concluded that the presumed dinosaurian armor represented the skull bones of a giant fish. Within 2 weeks, British fish expert Arthur Smith Woodward examined the specimens and started to prepare a formal description which was published in 1889. In this publication, he named the species Leedsichthys problematicus. The general name Leedsichthys refers to Leeds fish, from the Greek word ichthys, meaning fish. The fossils which were found by Leeds provided the fish with a specific epithet problematicus, as the remains were so much that they were extremely hard to both recognize and interpret. After a second publication in 1889, numerous objections were raised against the perceived barbaric nature of the generic name, which had attached a non-Latinized British family name to a classical Greek word. This prompted Woodward in 1890 to change the genus name to Leedsia, resulting in Leedsia problematica. Still, by modern standards, this name is a non-valid junior synonym. There's a sense of uncertainty when it comes to the life cycle of Leedsichthys. Liston's 2013 study had suggested a slow and nearly linear growth. A French study conducted in 1993 of the fish's bone structure concluded that the metabolism was rather high, opposing most of the other findings that supported the low metabolism of the creature. Leedsichthys could increase its size rapidly during the first year of its life. Teleoste usually lays relatively small eggs, and it has always been viewed as a hurdle for attaining giant sizes. It was in 1986 when Martil reported the presence of a tooth of the marine crocodile Metriorhynchus in a bone of Leedsichthys. The bone would have healed and was a sign that the about 3-meter-long Metriorhynchus was actively hunting this giant fish. But in 2007, Liston concluded that the bone tissue had not healed and that this might be a case involving scavenging. In 1999, Martil suggested that a climate change at the end of the Caluvian propelled the extinction of Leedsichthyn in the northern seas, with the Southern Ocean offering a last refuge during the Oxfordian. This giant fish thrived in the Jurassic period, where the ecosystem was unforgiving. The fact that this ancient fish did not have any form of defense against predators like the liopleurodon and Metriorhynchus, which were abundant creatures at the time, did not seem to help at all. The fact is that a single attack was indeed not enough to take out a full-grown Leedsichthys, but an attack that was expected by a group of predators would turn out to be enough to inflict fatal damage. But how did this giant fish go extinct? Leedsichthys was one of the plethora of massive-sized filter feeders that swam in the seas of the Mesozoic era for a period that exceeded 100 million years. During the period between the Middle Jurassic and the end of the Cretaceous, the sea had a massive population of plankton, allowing large fishes such as Leedsichthys to develop. But as time passed, the giant filter feeder went extinct as the plankton populations began to plunge mysteriously during the Cretaceous period. In your opinion, how dangerous is the Leedsichthys, and do you find its insane size to be menacing? With the creature not being a predator, does its magnificent size simply mean that it's a deadly one? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.